You don't like them? You who are far left? Ah,
It's not that I don't like them.
it's that
I
hate them. Hello? I'm back in Nantes for a police demonstration. Let's hear what they say. Let's go.
That's nonsense. I'm sorry. There's a lot of it on social media. For us, this is the counter demonstration, and we're looking for people here.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all.
So you show up insulting people, huh?
Did I insult you?
Yeah, you called me a big idiot.
Oh yeah, because you did something really stupid.
Well, listen, you're one too.
So don't worry.
So us?
We do pretty much everything. The Black Week, don't forget the Black Week. We're going to mess everything up on May 1st. Also international, let's block everything. We're going to mess everything up on September 10th, my buddy.
Thank you. It didn't exactly ooze intelligence. Well, I hope that's all there is to it. Hello.
Hello, it's nice to see you in person.
Thank you very much. Quite a contrast to the young man I just saw. So, ma'am, what's happening in Nantes?
Well, it's as you know, since you came here. I saw you in the old neighborhoods. I saw you struggling too. A little bit. No, it's not.
How long have you been in Nantes? You then.
I'm not really Nantes. I knew that for a long time since my father lived here.
How was it during your father's time?
Nantes used to be calm and peaceful. They called it the Sleeping Beauty. That's no longer true.
The Sleeping Beauty has woken up?
I don't know what woke up, but it's out of our control. And yet, I'm in the nice neighborhoods. I live 400 meters from Hérault's place. You know Jean-Marc Hérault, the former mayor and minister. We're in a protected neighborhood, but they're still dealing right under our windows, even though I don't live in public housing. I came with my neighbor, whose son, a Paris police officer, is also protesting there.
All right, let's go see them.
So I think the least we can do is support them. The police officers in Nantes are really under pressure, with contradictory orders, as they say, meaning do it, but don't do it, be present, but don't take action. Their hands and feet are tied. It's frightening, honestly. I have a childhood friend, a police officer who is now retired, and he tells me that the job has really changed, that there's no more respect, and that the salary conditions are terrible. And that people are idiots and follow people they shouldn't follow. Opinions here. It's the kingdom of fools here.
Let's check out this protest. What are you asking for today?
Well, we're already asking that the state and the Ministry of the Interior do what's necessary so that there are more police officers. Since we're short on staff pretty much everywhere in the provinces, mainly in Paris. Also that we go back on the years when the number of police officers was reduced. And that there be a reform at the judicial level so that we can work with modern resources. When you see that now, in big stores, you can buy a computer every day. You have AI laptops, you have transcription software, translation software. We're far from having that.
It's incredible. I've filed complaints myself. The time wasted on computers is crazy.
So, we currently have a procedure processing software, which can you give an example? Just to attach an appendix to a document, whether it's a medical certificate or something else, it takes 17 clicks.
No, but that's unbelievable. Hello, sir. Are you a police officer?
No, I'm not a police officer.
You came here to support the police, yes?
With the group France Loves Its Police, it's a group that was started by Maurice Signolet, okay, in support of the police officers I know.
Whom I greet, by the way.
There you go.
So why?
Why? Because it's the pillar of the Republic, it's the last bulwark before anarchy, it's the last bulwark before chaos. There you go, and in Nantes, more than anywhere else, we need it. In Nantes, more than anywhere else, because we have a municipality that is particularly lax. We see the growing insecurity in our neighborhoods, and we're fed up with it. And we want to support our police officers, and we want our police officers to have the moral means to act, because they may have the material means. But the police officers are demoralized when they arrest offenders. The police officers, the offenders are back on the streets 24 hours later, 48 hours later, and they're not supported by that.
That's the judges?
Yes.
At the end of the day, the police are just doing their job?
The police are doing their job, but behind the scenes, they're not supported by the government or by the judges. You see, there was a police officer who went by. It must have been about a year ago in Nantes. A police officer was run over by a young guy who refused to comply, didn't have a license, was a minor, and so didn't have insurance either. He hit the police officer, dragged him for about 100 meters, and left him for dead. And this young man was sentenced in Nantes to 35 hours of community service, 35 hours of community service.
C'est cher?
That's not a high price to pay for the life of a police officer, so that's a no, that's a no.
A situation like that is unthinkable. Nantes used to be a very beautiful city, and actually it's still a beautiful city, but with an influx, let's politely say exotic, that really makes our lives miserable. To realize it, it's simple. You get on the bus and you get an idea of what's happening in Nantes. You have a small glimpse of what's happening in Nantes. It's totally frightening, the lack of respect, the violence, the insults, the lack of courtesy. Even saying hello isn't possible anymore. Even a smile isn't possible anymore. People smoke everywhere. They smoke in the bus shelters. They smoke on the bus. They insult others. You can't leave anything open now, not even a bag. I should close mine. It's a pretty tough daily life. So, especially for women, it's the heavy price paid by women. It's impossible to go out in the winter as soon as it gets dark, so 6:30 p.m., 7 p.m. And in the summer it's the same. A short skirt and that's it. You're done for, you're in trouble. We have a population that has nothing to do here. Afghan women are in difficulty, but it's the men who come to Europe, so let's look for the mistake. So we have these same Afghans who kill women in their country, who arrive here as if they've conquered the place, who think that a woman is just a thing.
I feel like you're a police officer, is that right? Oh, really? There's a different energy. How is it for you on a daily basis? How?
There's a bit of everything. We're liked, then not liked. That's how it is. There aren't enough of us. We've lost more than 50% of our staff in 8 years.
50%?
Oh, yes. When I joined my unit, there were 13 of us, and now there are 6.
Wow.
And you have to do the same work, yes, with 6 as you did with 13, yes. So how do you manage?
With the resources you have, we get called back, we get rescheduled, that's it.
But also, the number of incidents you have to respond to, I imagine, has gradually increased.
Me, I'm in a very specific field. I'm a motorcyclist, so we do our job, escorts, and then road checks. And so we can clearly see that the situation with the public is getting worse and worse, especially road delinquency. Well, I'm talking about the roads, since that's my profession. In that area, it's getting worse and worse.
But there are fewer and fewer of you for more and more work, right? Yes. And how do you actually manage? So?
We make do with what we have, but more paperwork is taking up much of our time. So a lot of time in the office, which means less time on the streets, and therefore less security outside.
I'm from Angers, so when you see that in Angers at night for a city of 250,000 inhabitants, there are only 2 patrols, maybe 3. At most, that's 9 officers for 250,000 inhabitants, plus a BAC unit with 3 officers, but that's not much. In the end, all the interventions that can result from that, obviously we have to choose the most important ones where we need to intervene as quickly as possible.
Keep in mind that the offenders are aware of this and take advantage of it. They exploit it.
Of course. People talk a lot about drug trafficking, but actually drug trafficking generates all the related crime, violent thefts, burglaries, that kind of thing. So when you have this drug trafficking growing, because there are more and more users, so to buy their drugs, sometimes they have to steal, it's unavoidable. Everything that comes from drug trafficking will increase crime, and they know very well how the police work.
The colleagues out in the field get insulted and assaulted all day long. Today, legal aid for police officers means that now, even for an insult, we no longer have legal aid. It's over. There's no more legal aid for an insult. And our colleagues handling the files and procedures are completely overwhelmed by huge amounts of cases and archaic procedural systems. We can't work calmly anymore. People now call asking about their cases, since they filed complaints 3, 6, or even 12 months ago. Sometimes we are unable to process the cases and to properly take care of people. It's not that we lack the skills, but the heavy workload and high number of cases prevent us from doing it under acceptable conditions.
So in that case, you need resources and staff?
I think there needs to be awareness on several levels. You need financial resources that allow you to have proper equipment, vehicles, computer equipment, and software that works. I mean, we're in the digital age, in the age of artificial intelligence, and we have computer systems that are extremely old, computers that are sometimes 7, 8, even 10 years old. How do you expect that to work? In terms of equipment, it's a disaster.
I live in a town not far from here with 30,000 inhabitants, where after 6:30 p.m. there's no security at all. There's nothing left. No more municipal police, no more national police. There's nothing left. The police come from Val de Crusoe, so it takes them 20 minutes. Knowing that in the evening, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not saying something wrong, there are 3 cars that cover the Nantes metropolitan area. 3 cars.
That's not much.
It's not even not much. It's unacceptable. But we're lucky because I read in the newspaper today that in Nantes, crime has gone down. I'd really like to know how they managed to get those kinds of statistics.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I see you have a little French flag.
Yes, because we're French. You, yes.
Being French in France today is complicated.
It's complicated to bring out the French flag right now. It's a bit of a shame, really, because people, after all, it's the value of France. Actually, yes, of course, it's a bit of a shame.
Let's say that the French flag is associated with racism.
And why?
For a reason I don't know.
It's completely stupid. We go to other countries. We have our children who live in England. During all the protests in the houses, in front of the houses, they proudly display the flag, but in France, showing the flag is seen as far right. It's a shame, isn't it?
You're not far right or extreme. You don't seem like extreme people.
We're not extreme.
We're good, beautiful people.
The ham. But then...
What are you doing here? It's raining.
It's cold. We're here to support the police because they work in deplorable conditions, often lacking equipment, and the premises are often poorly maintained. Moreover, they are very poorly regarded, not to mention attacked from all sides. So that's why we're here to support them. Because without the police, it's anarchy. It could even become a dictatorship if there's no police. Because actually, if we listen to some parties, they say there shouldn't be any police anymore. Well, in that case, it's anarchy, because then gangs are in the streets and we can forget about laughing. It's over.
Actually, it's the gangs that act as the police.
That's it. It's the gangs that act as the police. It's the drug trafficking gangs, so we can't let that happen. The police absolutely have to be there.
So in that regard, the state, the citizens, the population must support the police. Not to please Pierre, Paul or Jacques, but because it's fundamental to our nation, democracy and the republic. Everyone must have the right to move about freely and safely. That's what each of us asks for. Your parents, your children, mine, that's what people want, to be able to move around and live freely. And that can't happen without security, it can't happen without police officers.
And public order. And besides, the people who criticize are often happy when they have a problem. They're glad to have the police to help them.
Leftists are quick to file defamation complaints.
Exactly, that's quite possible.
So they actually like justice and the police.
That's why we're here, to help.
Okay.
And to tell Macron that we love the police because he says the police.
There you go.
So he starts doing it to us. He didn't say it, but it was still yes.
It's kind of like that. And he's not the only one saying that, by the way. No.
He's not the only one to say it.
It's not just...
So what do you think of, for example, just randomly? Mélenchon? Oh.
Well, Mélenchon, I'd rather not say anything because I'd say something foolish. But no, he doesn't like France.
You're not going to vote for him in the elections, right?
No, because he doesn't like France.
But now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, ask.
Because if France is in the state it's in today, it's because of your generation, if I may say so. Oh no. It's those who came before us who put France in the state. It's not me.
How did I do that? We put France here?
You're joking.
You're joking. What did we do to put France in this state?
81, Mitterrand?
Twice?
Jospin. People voted pretty left-wing there for a long time.
So I don't feel responsible?
I feel responsible. And?
Never voted for the left?
Never. I voted a bit for the left, but I switched after.
Confess, sir?
Back then, it's true that in 81, I think I voted. When he came, we had hope with Mitterrand. We thought, that's it, everything is going to change. But nothing changed, because in fact, nothing changed. So I switched afterwards more towards the center, but otherwise no. But saying that we are responsible, we, the older generation, that's easy. It's easy to say, for example, I'm retired. It's easy to say retirees now are privileged. All that, stop. In the past, for us, it was political choices, but no.
So what are you doing here? Tell me.
Hey, listen, I came in solidarity with the police and also the gendarmerie because the gendarmerie doesn't have a union, so they're facing the same issues. And I stand in strong solidarity with these professions and the importance they have in society. Yet,
these professions face heavy criticism and constant attacks with accusations like police killing.
For me, that's a narrative that no longer holds up, I'll be clear. Police officer or gendarme, either way, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that's always existed. It's not just in contemporary history, it's at all times. These are extremely difficult jobs. Especially for those at the bottom, hierarchy aside, they're out in the field every day, For a long time, I have a deep respect for what these people do. And personally, I myself have experienced a home burglary in the past 2 years, and it's quite traumatizing. And then on the other hand, I helped a young woman in the field who was threatened, and I had no other choice, so I took a stand. And at that moment, I was threatened with a Phillips screwdriver. It was like a real bayonet. You can really see there's a lot happening in a city like Nantes. Life can change very quickly in just a few seconds. You have to be very careful. It's not a matter of ideology or being right-wing or left-wing. In these situations, it's just the day you find yourself in a tense situation. Well, that's when you suddenly need the police. All those ideologies disappear very quickly. That's what I wanted to say.
Are police officers afraid in the field today?
Sometimes the insecurity police officers feel today is legal. Deep down, the police officer is not afraid. He intervenes. We're often in groups. We're trained. None of this is left to chance. We're not afraid to intervene in public, but we're afraid of the legal aspect. We're afraid of the consequences. Because the slightest little mistake, there's no leniency for police officers. That's what's hard. We intervene with organized gangs, groups, riots, and so on. It's extremely difficult. You spend the whole day having rocks thrown at you, being insulted. It's extremely tough. So that's what it's like to be a police officer. Today, he's more afraid of the legal uncertainty he's in, because his superiors won't always be able to support him. Neither does the justice system, and neither does the state. And that's the difficulty for police officers today.
We didn't vote for the left. I never voted for the left.
Not all of us, the generation. Overall, we feel kind of screwed because of those who came before us.
You're right.
There is a certain category of people indeed who believed in the left, a certain kind of left.
They believed in living together, mass immigration, and related ideals.
They believed. Yes, they believe in it.
Maybe somewhere else too.
Well, I'm less sure about that, but hey, if they want to believe in it, that's their problem.
It's ours too.
It's everyone's problem. Yes?
We're going to say yes, it's time for this to end, and then we need to start banging our fists on the table. So it's true that we're from a generation. Will we be able to see it through to the end? But me...
There was less leniency. We respected people, we respected institutions, we respected the mayor, we respected the police, we respected the gendarmes. There were no problems. Now...
May 68 happened. That's the starting point.
But after May 68, the police weren't hated. Let's not kid ourselves.
You, sir, in May 68, what were you doing?
In May 68, I was a supervisor in the Paris region. I didn't march at the time because I couldn't, but well, I wasn't far from it. No, not necessarily because...
We used to get kicked and slapped, but now young people can do whatever they want.
The students in 68, it was kind of an art, so...
You, ma'am, what would be the solution today?
Well, for me, first of all, I'd like the Bard of Logoré who's squatting at the Élysée to leave. There you go, you see how it is, right? Oh yes, absolutely. But that's exactly what he is, him and all his cronies that come with him, right? After that, we'll see. But right now we've had enough, it's true.
Are you from Nantes?
Yes, I'm from Nantes.
Yes, what is it? The situation in Nantes?
It's insecurity, for real. Oh yes, for real, yes. When I was young, I could walk around the streets of Nantes without thinking that I could be attacked. Now, you can't just walk around Nantes like that. It's not possible, right? Oh yes, that's true. Yes, that's true. Yes.
Would you say being spoon-fed by CNews has made you paranoid? Oh no.
No.
What the left says is what the left says. You see the arguments of the left. Yes, it's actually that you're not in reality. You're in an imaginary reality.
That's it. So everything that's happening, we're just making it up. We insist on it. We keep repeating about just one topic, but actually the reality is there. My daughter has been assaulted several times, and I have a niece too. Same thing in Nantes. A knife to her throat. Yes. So there you go. We have concrete examples.
Hello?
Hello, Vincent Lapierre. How are you? I'm great.
What are you doing here?
I'm here to support the police for what they endure, and especially for their safety in Nantes, which keeps getting worse and worse. Yes, that's true.
No, because as I often say, for the left, there is no problem for the left. All of this is made up. All of this is a myth. Security hasn't increased, and immigration isn't linked to security. All of that is false. It's fake news. What is reality?
A jeweler from Nantes who was lucky enough to have a visit from people who came to his place, knowing his address, I imagine, thanks to the famous Republic papers, the files that anyone can find online, you can see people's personal addresses. And probably because of, or thanks to the rise in gold prices, they came to visit him. At his home, they attacked his daughter and then carried out a homejacking to get the keys to the jewelry store. And I think they stole between 10,000 and 20,000 euros worth of various jewelry, metals, and so on. That's it.
That's it.
I think it was yesterday or the day before, but whether it was 2 years ago or now, before it happened in the street, now it's in people's homes, knowing that the only thing people have is their home. If now we even go to their homes to hold them captive, I don't know what's left.
Ladies, I'm interrupting you because I feel you have things to say.
But I have nothing to say.
France is doing well, everything is fine.
All is well, you saw their comments, things are going great.
What I want, ladies and gentlemen, is your precise diagnosis on...
Very worried about what we're leaving to our grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
It's terrible. It feels like there's carelessness, like there's no guiding principle there. Right away, they vote to keep their seats in the assembly, to have a budget, but one that doesn't meet our expectations. We need security. We want less immigration, we want savings, we want to be at our age to be able to...
Move on to the next world. We don't want to be robbed at our age. 84 years old. I'm going to turn 84 on May 8th, and I don't want to be robbed just because I've been on this earth too long.
But please, sir, I'm very interested in your thoughts on France. There's also something I'd like to ask you. Who did you vote for all these years?
So, Zemmer, that's not true.
No.
Zemmer, we voted for the front.
Be careful, I'm referring to the 80s back to Mitterrand.
Ah yes, back in Mitterrand's time. We had to vote a lot for the Rassemblement National, which disappointed us a bit, but well, there you go, the Front National.
See, that was the time?
No, since then. Actually, there was a break. It was when he got angry with the Polytechnic guy, McGray.
Yes, that's right.
And that's when we kind of gave up. Oh, yes, that's true, yes. And then after that, it's Villiers-Zemmour.
You don't feel at all responsible for the current situation France is in? No?
No, we're not better than the others, but on that point, we don't feel responsible.
You seem preoccupied, sir. What are your thoughts on the situation in France?
The situation in France is toxic. It's true, there are more and more assaults, more and more thefts. So now we have to take matters into our own hands and make sure it stops.
What does that mean, taking matters into our own hands?
Well, it means making laws, enforcing the laws, and not being afraid to say what we think. So people are afraid to say what they think, but they say it anyway. Now, speaking out is a form of liberation. My goal is to show that the French people are here, and that we will never be cowards, and that we will resist. So we can use words like the Great Replacement, etc. But you have to defend your freedom. You have to defend your country. You have to defend where you come from. And especially, what I'm going to say is a bit harsh, but our Christian history. I don't go to Mass myself.
It's not hard, it's not hard. Me neither. I don't go to Mass.
But normally I feel Christian, from a Christian civilization. Well, you have to read it in a way so that we're not there. In the minority.
There's the Marseillaise.
To the trees. Form your battalions. Let's march for without defeat.
It's going to move there. No, it's static. No, it's static. Great, thank you.
Did they explain to you why we weren't moving? Because there were people on the left who actually, well, they...
No incidents.
You don't like them, do you?
The who?
The far left?
It's not that I don't like them, it's that I hate them.
All right.
That's even more okay, and they don't scare me. You see, I say it, I still always know how to speak my mind.
They don't scare me.
Me, I was attacked by dealers. There was a drug dealing spot in my building. I was slapped.
Tell us, a drug dealing spot in your building? Yes, why?
because there was one that was well located, and then he had his wife who acted as the mule. And then one day I said to him, "Don't you have any?" Then he says to me, "You don't know who I am?" He says, "I just got out of prison." I said, "Man, you just got out of prison." But that was never a reference. And he's a man who had been wanted by the police and the narcotics squad for 2 years and who was imprisoned. And he was released because of COVID.
Next to your house?
Yes, at 2Z.
That's right. They're rehousing ex-convicts next to your house. So what did he do to you? Did he slap you?
Oh, yes, he threatened me. He had one of his henchmen follow me to intimidate me. And 2 days later, it was my wife who was harassed on a scooter ride. And then at 2Z, we have a tobacco shop, the tobacco shop. In 1 week, he got robbed twice. He armed me like in Saint-Nazaire. There was also a tobacco shop that got extorted. There were 6 of them. That's armed.
Yet the left claims everything is fine and normal.
But are you kidding? Everything's fine, right? But that's not possible. Go for a walk at night in? No, it's not possible.
So how are things in Nantes?
Well, things are going very badly. I arrived in Nantes when I was 13, and now there's crime everywhere. I have 2 daughters born in Nantes. They don't come here anymore. They leave for long periods and no longer visit.
Let's start at the beginning, since some may think you're exaggerating.
Oh no, that's not it.
The left will claim you're being spoon-fed by CNews, accusing you of repeating propaganda that isn't real. Well, no.
They take us for fools, the left. They're completely out of touch. How long has it been? It's been, what, 30 years they've been there? We can't even get around anymore. There's a population that's nothing like what we used to know, a delinquent population, and we just let it happen. It's destroying everything. That's what Nantes is like now.
That's true.
Of course it's true.
Then why was Joanna Rowland elected if that's the case?
Nantes now has a trendy left, but its working class population has left. They replace them with an upper class population, a population that goes along with her, and that's it. That's how it works.
Yet, the trendy urbanite who lives downtown can clearly see what's happening right outside his door. No?
He doesn't see, well, no, he doesn't see exactly. He doesn't want to see what he sees. That's the thing. He doesn't want to see what he sees. Me, I see what I see. I say what I see. Them, no, they're in denial.
Me, I'm an old Nantes. I'm 71 years old. I'm an old Nantes. For me, Nantes, I don't feel safe in Nantes. And it's been declining for about 20 years. Back in the day, we had the underworld, but the underworld was made up of people who respected both the police and the citizens. If there was racketeering like in all big cities, but it was between the owner and the mafia. Now it's small-time stuff, thugs who stab you for any reason, so no. Nantes, it's catastrophic, catastrophic. You can see it, all the restaurants that used to be in the city center are moving to the outskirts now because people don't feel safe anymore. There are shopkeepers in Nantes who have understood this, restaurant owners, and I know one who has about 15 restaurants. They're all around Nantes, not in Nantes, because it's not livable. When there were protests about the Nantes airport and all that, people, they lost their shops because they couldn't work. It was protest after protest. And then I say that the sea in Nantes? No, it's not. No.
No, it doesn't work. No, France might disappear, do you think?
Is it disappearing? You can clearly see that France is disappearing. There are elections coming up now. Voters need to vote with their conscience. But they need to vote the right way, in the interest of France, and not for something else.
Against France?
That's how it is. I was going to say against France, but yes, some people vote and act against France.
We're on Falk's team and we want to know who Falk is.
You know, it's that opposition. He's going to win, Falk or not.
It's been several decades since there was an alliance between the center and the right in Nantes. So now there's a real alternative, meaning all the political parties have made an effort to come together to offer a real change in Nantes. So Falk, Jean-Marc Delot has a program. He was a city councillor and today he has a very serious program. He wants more safety in the city of Nantes. He wants to arm his municipal police. So there really is a counter-project to Jonathan Rowland, but what is it?
Chances there are chances to win.
Yes, there have never been so many chances. This is the first time I'm telling you that there is a union of the right and the center for the first rounds of the municipal elections. So we hope there will be a very strong momentum in the first rounds. Aside from the background, Nantes still has a large radical left and some moderate leftists. They see we're stuck in ideology, are fed up and want change. It's the unconditional welcome of all exiles. The first announcement, which was made by Jonathan Roland and Marie Voltieu, who has a radical environmentalist project. First announcement, unconditional welcome of all exiles. In Nantes, a city of refuge, and after 60% of regulated housing, Nantes builds fewer homes than Angers. Today, the solution to the housing crisis is 60% regulated housing. Which developer is going to come and carry out a private development project and say, I'm going to finance or I'm going to build? 60% regulated housing, 40% social housing, 20% subsidized housing. How do we get there? How do we house our young people? We can't.
So, yes, I'm with Sir.
You really do look like a Frenchman.
Me, I'm Breton. I love my France, or I love my France. I still love it. But, well, how long will it last? French, in the good sense of the word, obviously democratic. Well, we don't know about that. As long as we have corrupt politicians like we do in every field, on the right and on the left, especially so-called left. Because me, I was a worker and I never voted left, because what we had in 1981 wasn't the left, it was a bourgeois left. That's what dismantled the entire French industrial system, so we can't go on like this. I worked in Nantes, in metallurgy, at the ACB du Pigeon and all that. It was still a beautiful France back then. It's been 50 years. For the past 10 years, it can't go on like this. Hoping that the Rassemblement National won't be sidelined with Marine Le Pen, and that there are political parties trying to lift France up. Without racism, without anything like that. Of course, we have our France and we want it to stay that way, to stay as it was, that's all, that's all.
Well, I was kicked out of my country in 1962, so I don't want to be kicked out of France again.
For example, Naël?
Yes, Naël, yes. Speaking of which...
She was mugged, they asked her for her phone, and actually she got her head smashed against the ground.
There are 3 million cases pending in all the police stations. That's not normal.
Where are we heading? We were talking about it earlier. We're heading towards a real chaos.